Hey everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about 5 head shaving tricks for beginners. I have been shaving my head for about 10 years, and over those years I've picked up a whole bunch of tricks that allow me to get this awesome, smooth, shiny shave. And I want to share those tricks with you in this video. Let's get right into the video. Number 1 is go against the grain. Now I'm going to be shaving my head as I make this video to sort of demonstrate all of the tricks that I'm telling you about. So I'm going to start off by lathering up my head. That's the first step. But tip number 1 is definitely to go against the grain, okay? And I'll tell you why. When you shave with the grain, I'm just going to put some shave butter on my head right now. I'm going to wet it first and then put the shave butter on. When you go with the grain, what you're going to do is you're going to essentially end up getting not so close of a shave. So you want to go against the grain, okay? Your hair grows in a certain direction. That is the direction of the grain. When I say go against the grain, all that I'm talking about is going in the opposite direction that the hair actually grows. So for instance, I'll show you right now as I demonstrate with my own head, okay? So on the side here, my hair grows downwards. So what I want to do is I want to take my razor and I want to go against the grain. I'm just going to wet the razor first. I want to go upwards. So I'm shaving against the direction of the hair. As you can see right here, the hair grows downwards. So I'm going to be shaving upwards, okay? And that brings me to tip number 2, which is rinse your razor often, okay? You want to rinse your razor every few short lines that you do. So you see I did this, basically this area right here, and I'm going to go over it again after the razor's rinsed and do a couple more lines here. And you can see I'm changing my arm direction. That helps me work through my head relatively efficiently with little arm pain. You know, if you're doing this every couple days like I do, you want to make sure you work through your head with, without pulling your shoulder or anything like that. You want to rinse your razor often because if your razor is clogged up with hair, okay, if your razor is clogged up with hair, then guess what? It can't do a good job at cutting the other hair that's on your head. So what you want to do is make sure you rinse it every few lines. So you can see, I've already rinsed it, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. Just like this, okay? And I will go over my entire head once again when I'm done, pretty much. If I wasn't explaining this, I would already be done. It takes me like probably 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to shave my head. But because I'm saying all these tips, it kind of takes a little bit longer. The third tip is don't forget about the little line or fold, whatever you want to call it, back here. And I'll demonstrate. Hopefully you can see this on camera. What I'm doing now is I'm first going over the entire area like this. Okay, let's rinse the razor again. I'm going to go over the entire area like this of the back of my head, just roughly. This is just a very rough job at first, okay? Now, what I'm talking about is the line back here. Hair grows in this fold, and if I just shave like this, I'm not actually getting the entire fold. So what I want to do is take my hand, and make sure you can see this. Yeah, take my hand, okay? I'm going to open up the fold like that, and you can use a regular razor and go like sideways like this and then up. But I actually have this extra little straight edge right here on the razor, this extra blade. So I like to use that extra blade just to trim the hairs out of it. And I will tell you that if I forget to do this for even 2 or 3 shaves in a row, my whole head will be shaved, except there'll be little hairs that are growing significantly long in that one little fold, okay? And my wife tells me immediately, Mike, you forgot to shave the fold right there because the hairs are like 1 inch long, right? And the rest of my head is shaved because they stand out so purely from everything else, okay? So that is the third tip. Don't forget about that. The fourth tip is very important, and it's what I use to shave my head in the shower. I usually shave my head in the shower every second day, basically, and it's that your hand is actually a better gauge than the mirror. So I can shave my head blindfolded and do a perfect job every single time without leaving any stray hairs and without cutting myself at all, okay? And that's because this right here, this spare hand that I'm using, not spare, I don't have an extra hand, but I'm shaving with one hand and the other hand is pulling the skin. It serves 2 purposes. It's pulling the skin so I can get a closer shave, okay? In addition to pulling the skin like that, it's also my gauge for where the hair is left over. I'll show you in a moment, okay? It tells you where, and I can feel here, I haven't touched this part of my head yet. I haven't done any of this with the razor, right? But if I go like this, I can put my hand and I can feel right here. I missed a couple hairs. Your hand will tell you, if you're shaving against the grain, your head is going to be smooth as a fresh ice rink. Smooth as butter. Buttery smooth, baby, okay? and your hand is going to pick out any tiny little stray hairs that you miss. Literally, I've found, like I've rubbed my head when I'm done and I found a single hair that I missed. And it annoys me, so I go get my razor and I fix it, okay? Now, I'm pretty much done my head at this point, except it brings me to tip number 5, which is that I'm not actually done, because there's one thing left to do. But before I do that, tip number 4 is your hand is a better gauge. I feel right here, okay? I can feel that I actually missed hairs over here. And it's maybe I went over the area, but I didn't shade them as nicely as I could, okay? I can feel that it's rougher than anywhere else, okay? So before I move on to the last tip and the last part, I'm going to use my hands. They're nice and decently wet. They don't need to have any soap on them or any shaving gel or anything. It's just water. And I'm going to rub my head. I feel everywhere is good except this one little spot right here. One little spot right here. Just like that. And this is only because I'm meticulous about how clean I want my head to be shaved. If I didn't care, like no one's going to notice that, but it will bother me. If I sleep at night and I scratch my head and I feel that, it's going to get to me. Everywhere else feels good. I changed the direction of the way that I rub my head too, and I feel just a couple stray hairs. I don't have many hairs on the top of my head anyways. I'm pretty much bald at the top of my head. I've lost all my hair, but there's a couple stray hairs that grow here and there that I can feel, and they get to me if I don't shave them. Last but not least is tip number 5, which is the last part of this, which is don't neglect your neck. Okay, and my wife is my key judge, and I thank her so much for this, that when I've neglected my neck for too long, I get all these hairs. I don't know if you can see this, right, but I probably did a decent job last time. But what happened, and I'm not talking about back here, because I'm a hairy guy, so I got all sorts of hair over here on my upper back. But my shirt usually hides that. I'm just talking about right here. Now, for these areas right here, which are sort of just, you know, where these thin hairs will grow, right over here, what I like to do is I take my razor, and for my hair, I can't shave this way like I do with the rest of my head, and it won't do a good job. I have to actually go this way. So I'm going from the back of my head away to the side like that. From the back of my head to the side like that, okay? So I do that on either side, okay? Just like that. Just like that. Go as far down as you can. And then what I do is I take my razor and I just hit up the back like this. Just like that. Is it perfect? I don't know, because I can't see it, and the hair is too thin and too fine for me to feel it, but I just give it a couple passes. There's not even any shaving butter or shaving gel or anything like that on this. And that's basically it. But on a side note, just as a little tip, you're probably wondering, in the shower, what do I use to shave? I just use soap. Right? If I'm shaving like this, if I'm going to do like a lineup on my beard, if I grow a beard or something, then I'm going to shave outside of the shower in my basement bathroom right here. You know, I'll hit up the sauna in here. I got a sauna in here, so I'll hit up the sauna and then I'll shave after. It just exfoliates all the hair. But I'll use like a shave butter or something like that. But other than that, on a regular basis, when I shave in the shower, I just use soap. It seems to work the best. Clean my body with it, put it on my head, give it a shave, and it's done. I use one product everywhere. It's as simple as that. I don't need shampoo, obviously, but that's it. I mean, really, you can use any product as long as it lubricates the head, so that when you go over with the razor, you're not going to get any cuts and it's going to shave everything smoothly. But that's it. Those are essentially 5 head shaving tricks for beginners. Like I said, I'm not a seasoned pro, but I've been doing this for about 10 years. I lost my hair at a young age and I started shaving it. I just accepted it and started shaving it. I like the way that I look like this. I hope other people do too. Hopefully my wife does as well. But that's a dad joke over there. Anyways, but if you're new to shaving your head, just do it. It's great. I mean, it feels fantastic. It's no maintenance. It's practically free. You can't go wrong. There's so many upsides with very little downside. It's really a great thing. People think it's, you know, they feel bad for you at first, but then they realize, wait a sec, you actually have it pretty good when you shave your head. That's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.